What's going on? Welcome back. This is Factors TV. We got special guests in the building today on Factors TV. My girl Akea Collins, how you doing?
I'm living the dream just like
Living the
you.
dream, man. I love it. I've been seeing you working. I've been seeing you moving. Um, I wanted to bring you in so you could talk about not only business and entrepreneurship, but also being a black woman, not only from this area, but moving abroad. You've lived other places, you've done other things, and set foundation. So I just wanted you to come in and talk about that because that takes a lot being a black woman, and it's also inspiring to others. So I just wanted to see your story and talk about who you are a little bit. So if you can introduce yourself, then I'll just let you handle the rest.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for having me. But my name is Akea Collins, and I'm the owner and founder of Opulent Branding, which is a small branding company that helps entrepreneurs learn how to become a brand. Because, we think, oh, we could just throw something on Facebook and people are supposed to just purchase, like, because it's you. No, you have to build this up. It takes time, it takes precision, and, it takes the support that you need to actually be seen properly, right? And then I own the Resume Chop Shop. And that stemmed from I got so upset one day. I was interviewing a candidate and I felt embarrassed for her because she honestly didn't know. So I prayed to God one day driving home. I prayed for faith and we took off from there. Something about me, I'm a veteran. I retired from the military. I did 12
I
years.
remember that, man. That was dope too. You guys
Man,
pushed through.
I just had to be a GI Jane.
That's what's up.
But I'm a mother of two children. I've worked in corporate America. I've worked for Fortune 500 and 600 companies, and I also still work for myself. So I never lost touch of my dream because I felt like I needed to go do something else so I could bring something back to my company.
Okay, that's what's up. So would you say you're the first generation entrepreneur, or do you come from a line of entrepreneurs?
Oh, I'm first generation
First
all the way.
generation, a lot of people come from hardworking families. Like, do you come from a military background?
Yes, my stepdad retired. And my mother was a single mom the entire time. So she worked two jobs. She didn't get the ability to raise me like she wanted to because she had to work hard. But we also at that time lived in a world that she made too much money, so they say. So I had to find money for college, and that's where the military came into play. Like, well,
That
they
is
paid
deep.
it.
That's
Let's
deep.
go.
That's deep, man. Ooh, that is deep. So they said it was making too much money for you to get help with education.
And we were starving in a sense of like there would be days my mom, I'm sure there's everything my mom, there were so many things she wanted, but it was either feed me and make sure I got clothes on my back. I've seen my mom's car get repossessed and I saw her going to work every day, like literally getting up, going to work every day, doing what she can. But when it was time to go to school, it was either pay her car note so she can keep going to work, or I get up off my tail and go join the army and let them pay for the 5 degrees that I hold.
Hey, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I applaud you for that. So, you don't mind me asking, let us know what your 5 degrees are.
At this day, basket weaving, because I don't do no we basket weaving at this point. No, but so my latest degree, my master's, I have a master's in healthcare administration.
Ow.
I have a bachelor's in business administration.
My sister. Okay. I'm getting my first. I'm just getting my associates.
But guess
So,
what? You're doing the right thing because it's when we see a 70-year-old getting her bachelor's, it's never too late. So just make sure we get a piece of the cake from the party because we coming.
No, well, thank you for that. I appreciate
We
that.
coming.
I appreciate that because it's been a lot, and in my age, I do feel more confident in going back to school. So thank you for that because that's motivation. You talking about 5 degrees? I'm just getting.
Let me tell you something. The military paid for it, and I tell anybody when it's free, you don't turn it down. Yeah, I had my days where I didn't want to be a scholar because that's everybody. But when I'm looking at it from this, on any day, I can go be a medical assistant. I could be your accountant. I could be your business manager. I could be your healthcare administrator. And I could be your marketing coach. I could be whatever I want to be on any day when I pick up one of those pieces of paper.
Okay.
I'm eclectic.
Listen, I know you. I'm letting them get to know you. I'm letting them get to know you.
You know what I'm
Okay?
saying?
So you told me that you were the keynote speaker for University of Kentucky?
Yes.
Oh, that's huge. Let's talk about that a little bit. That's special.
So I have a deep desire, and it stemmed from a divorce. I got divorced, and my ex-husband, you don't have nothing to say. Don't nobody want to hear you. Why? Why don't they want to hear me?
That's deep.
I'm fucking dope. Like, why they don't want to hear me? And as it stemmed, I prayed to God. I'm like, okay, God, what am I supposed to give to the world? Like, I'm not here just to buy Jordans and bags and go shopping and get degrees. Like, what else am I supposed to do beyond the norm, past the materialistic? And I started the business, but in the business, you have to learn how to speak and approach, right? You have to be able to leave a transcending message no matter what you sell. You have to leave your brand. So I started getting on live, teaching people how to write their resumes, teaching people how to brand their business, teaching people how to just be a better person because they think, oh, I could sell something, they're gonna buy it because it's me. Ma'am, we knew you in the fifth grade when you was stealing fruities. Are you scamming right now, or is this really what you
It's
want
what
to
you
do?
want to do. It's
Right? It's
passion.
just
It's
passion.
yeah, driven.
And so the more and more I got into it, I started seeing young women like me. We're in a space where we didn't have entrepreneurs. When we grew up, who do we know that were really entrepreneurs? But
Not too many people like it. I said we come from people who's working hard, you
yeah,
know. And if they were like my mom, she was an entrepreneur, but she was a hairstylist,
right,
which was still had a structure to it because of paying taxes and other things.
right.
So I understand what you're saying for sure, for sure.
So that's how the University of Kentucky came into play. And so they started, who would ever think that at the time I was still living in Mississippi because my mom was sick? The University of Kentucky is one of the largest universities on this planet. And for y'all to come all the way down to Mississippi and pick me to speak to young women who are about to enter the world and see me as an advisor, a career coach, their sister, their mom, their best friend, and to be able to sit on that platform for the MLK Center, it was surreal and it was
That's
crazy.
beautiful.
On my
Congratulations
birthday,
for
I was
that.
like, y'all
That's
can have a
amazing.
birthday. Let's go.
No,
Let's get
that's
this money.
amazing.
Let's go.
I'm very just to know you from back then. I'm gonna tell you, I love that. I'm proud of you because you know what I'm saying we partied back in the
Too
day. You
too
was in the
hard.
service, but we all hung out. You know, we had a good time, and it's just good to see that you progress, and not only that you're bringing your lessons with you. You know, like there's
Right.
so many young black women who need to hear this story and need to know that there's gonna be struggles and there's gonna be times where you don't think nobody's even watching you or even
Right.
looking at you. Just like you said, you're down in Mississippi and they come pick you up and you're like, all right, I'm doing something right. Something's right.
Like,
I'm on
hey,
the right
like
way.
who
Yeah.
knew y'all knew me? Like all inclusive trip. They cut the check before I even opened my mouth.
No, that's that
I was
corporate
like,
money.
wait
That's
a
that good
minute.
money.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, after I speak, I'll get a check later. I went to my office and I used to go, depending on what my kids had going on, I went to my office so I could start prepping. The check was already under the door.
That's what I'm talking
I
about.
was
That's
like,
what I'm
so
talking
this how y'all doing business? Call
about.
me whenever I'm ready.
Man, listen, man, they printing it. We just got to be in the way of it. That's real talk.
Listen, skip to the bank.
No, for real, for real. So and I know we got a lot more to do, a lot more to go, but I think in our age we have come so far from where we come from.
Right.
So how or I should say, what would you say to a young up and coming black woman who is starting a business or someone who is in school trying to obtain degrees? What advice would you give them on their journey starting out?
Watch your circle. And I don't mean just your friends. I'm talking about family, boyfriends, girlfriends, baby daddies, mamas, anybody. The reason being, it takes a village to do this. It's not what you sell. It doesn't matter what you go to school with. It takes a support like no other to get through those days when you're crying. You need support when you can't produce. Who's gonna motivate you to produce? When know your clients are not always your family and your friends. Your biggest supporter may not even be your mom today. It may not be, but you have to also have that attitude, just kind of like F them folks. Like, this will not be the reason I fail. I will fail because of me. And you have to kind of weed all of that out. And it doesn't mean that you don't need anybody. But if I knew then what I knew now, I would have chose my circle differently. And not that they're bad people, but through entrepreneurship, you have a different appreciation for the network that you build because it's not monetary, it's motivational. So if you don't have the right people pumping you up when you don't feel like it, because I'm gonna be honest, it's days where I'd be like, F my business, I don't feel like it. I don't, but I stay consistent when I wasn't motivated. And that's why I was able to hit six figures multiple times. That's why the business did what it needed to do. The business carried me through the pandemic when Mississippi said, oh, well, yeah, you're a six-figure employee, but we're going to give you $235 a week in unemployment. Sir, my mortgage is $2,500. Like,
And I'm going to cut you off. That was literally going to be one of my questions about that time because you were, we all went through things in the
right,
pandemic, but the South was affected a lot differently. People don't realize that's why I tell people a lot of the programs and laws and things that go between being here, being there, they all matter. And I
right,
know for even my own family that's very successful, very doing great. When that pandemic happened, a lot of things slowed up. So I was going to actually ask you that. So I'm glad you clarified that because people don't realize business is not only business, it's business and where you're at. Like where
right,
you're at, it depends a lot on what's going on in the economy, what's going on
right.
around you, for real, for real. So I'm glad you cleared that up. So what I want to ask you next is, do you feel like that women, well, I know women are the most graduated. They're
Right.
the most graduates, college degrees. Do you feel like black business is taking a turn towards black women Like, because I'm seeing a lot of black women own a little bit of everything.
Yes and no.
I don't know if we're even having much as black men no more.
Right.
For
Which is
real.
great. I think we can do great things, but we can't stop educating ourselves. That's where we're kind of like stirring the pot a little bit, right? It's great if you have a six-figure business, but what happens when you don't make money? What's next beyond the money? Are you educated? Can you sit in the room with people that don't know you and actually educate them? That's what matters. And that degree, it's not even that the degree gives you all the intellect, but it teaches you how to be strategic. It teaches you how to formulate an operation. So when the money's gone and the product doesn't work, what's next, right? So educating yourself, being a subject matter expert in anything that you touch, that don't mean go own 85 businesses. That means treat that business like an umbrella effect. I own a consulting company, right? We consult. But what do we consult? We consult career coaches, but we also teach businesses how we became successful. So they work hand in hand. You have to educate yourself. You have to always be, if not the smartest person in the room, you better be pretty close. In order to be a boss, it doesn't necessarily mean financial. You have to move strategically through everything that you do so we can continue to climb because we've always been the number one educated, but we've never been the most financially driven. And that's the problem. We own 80 businesses. Why? When you only need two good ones that piggyback each other. We have to educate ourselves so we're not losing time.
Okay. No, I hear that, and that's definitely dope. Before we get out of here, I'm going to say thank you for coming on the show. I know you're in town on business already. You made time for us. So you working. I didn't even think you was coming back in town. Honestly, you ain't been back in how long?
Ooh, 10 years.
Man, so this is a coming home party. So I want to say first, thank you for coming. I appreciate you coming. I'm very proud of you, just not from knowing you, but even just watching you from afar, the things you're doing, the moves you're making, the presence that you have. It's very, very empowering because I'm a father of daughters. I have two girls, and I just want them to be, outgoing and be strong and know that, they could be great. They could do anything they want to do. Before we get out of here, though, I want you to once again give them your business name and how they can reach you and follow you on any social platforms or emails or whatever.
So listen, don't hold me hostage to Facebook. I just told you I'm in Facebook jail. Don't hold me hostage. But if you would love to follow me, and I would love to have you, my name is Akea Collins, and it's Akea, last name Collins, Collins. That's Facebook. My business page on Instagram is The Resume Chop Shop, all one word. My second business page is The Opulent Branding. So right now we're restructuring everything. We got a new website coming out for the fall so we can get these new people in. So we're ready to have you. We got new programs kicking off in September. So make sure you guys follow me. You can always inbox me and we'll get you squared away.
All right. Once again, thank you for coming on the show. It's been really good, not only watching your journey, but being close and knowing who you are, where we come from. I'm amazed at who you are and what you're becoming. I've always seen it, but the discipline was about military,
right,
but you applied it other places, and I'm very proud of you. We're gonna go to